Opened back in 2003, have a look at the Lincoln Financial Field, where 70,000 are rocking and ready to go in Philadelphia. Tonight we polish off Week 10 with a good Monday night matchup between the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down. Now, these two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the Eagles who got the win on the road, so now they look to finish off the sweep here in Philly. Second down, back to Sanders. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels. And
he is going to have an Eagles first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1. The Eagles at 500 now, 4-4 on the year. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here, and it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak, and right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. Open man, that's Devontae Smith. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Second down, back to Sanders. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Seven Pirates!
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
At their own 18-yard line.
Wentz bringing the Commanders up for 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll start on the ground with Gibson up to the 20.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wentz. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Play action. Now Wentz. Taking a shot for Samuel. And this throw will be intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right, it felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing is Hurts. And he fires one that's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. 20, 10, and he will bring this one back. It is a pick 6 for a Washington touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Joey Sly on for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead.
Commanders 7, Eagles nothing.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we've wondered just how good is this team? They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
Let's go now. Check it.
Here's Hurts to throw. Going deep here for Watkins. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Hurts with a little pop pass on the jet sweep. And just not much to be had there. 1 yard out to the 10. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. And he'll be out right at the 35. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
And that's a much-needed completion right there on 3rd down. Really a sigh of relief, isn't it? They're backed up deep. You know they don't want to give the ball back to the other guys a great field position. They needed that throw.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
But to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline, and now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
18 Romney, 18 Romney.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. This is Smith with a grab. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. The play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
And just 1 tick to go, so this will obviously be the final play of this first quarter.
Street. 19 tight. 19 tight.
To throw again on 2nd down. Hurts. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter.
Eagles nothing.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Hurts. He's got his target. That's Zach Pascal. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Hurts a handoff to Sanders. Room here to run. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
Hurts sets up to throw it. toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 23 yards on the play. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. They'll run with Sanders up the middle. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll look to throw here. And Hurts is intercepted, his 3rd of the game. And the Commanders are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning them into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
And the tackle there by C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a 3rd down and 8. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On play action, Wentz. Out to his left. Slings this deep from McLaurin. On Wentz is intercepted yet again. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the Eagles are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Airing it out deep for Smith. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Bobby McCain. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
So that last play gives them a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Hey, empty, empty.
On 1st down, right back to Gibson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Hey, go.
Wentz now to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up fourth down. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Hurts.
And this one complete to Smith. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually got to pick up a holding call.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. He'll look to throw.
Goes right back to Smith again.
And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. They'll run with Sanders, and he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Once again with Sanders, and he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a couple. The defense stiffening here. It's 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. The kick by Elliott is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with a 7-3 lead, we'll see how aggressive they want to be.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And some space here. And how about that for just running out the clock?
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts
as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Wentz. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On play action, it's Wentz. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
Brandon, I think he's just grateful to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid not just losing yardage, but a big hit on that play as well. That defense closed on him quick and forced a quick surrender out of bounds.
To throw again on second down. Wentz. And he's going to drop this one down to Gibson. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as he'll try to get 3 before half. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. Sly able to put this one through. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal. Not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, there were 3 talking points at the half, partner. All of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly hoped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wentz. Dancing to his left. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Kaiser White. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
A gain of 3, second down.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. It'll be a gain of 5. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They'll try and throw for it with Hurts.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Eagles unable to convert there on 4th.
And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Gets this out quickly to Dotson.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Straight ahead, Gibson.
And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Wynn's going to try and throw on 3rd. And my goodness, another interception. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
On the sneak, it's Hurts.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles.
Jalen Hurts
with his 16th touchdown of the year.
And the Eagles take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Elliott good on the extra point, and we are even at 10 apiece. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 50 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Gibson again. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz rolling to his left. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
3rd quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. A give up the middle to Gibson.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Now a play fake. Wentz. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away.
And this will be taken at the 13. 35 yards that time on the punt.
And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
3rd quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's go now.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. He's going deep for Brown. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Yards on the punt, just 2 on the return.
And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter.
Meanwhile, Wentz's throw into the hands of McLaurin.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
Go, go. Lefty.
On the counter, Gibson. He'll get it up near midfield to the 49 before being taken down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now a 1st carry here for Robinson.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here's a give to Gibson.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From the 39, Wentz.
He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 14.
A good pickup there, 26 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
A handoff for Gibson.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4.
79 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On 2nd and very short, Wentz. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
That's sack courtesy of the effort of Hassan Reddick.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, here's Gibson.
And he's going to come up well shy of the 1st here as the tackle's made right around the 12. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
Sly able to put this one through, and they will take the lead at 13-10. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Hurts. Eluding the press. Hurts fumbles it. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Here's Hurts to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
They're going on 4th down with Hurts. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. They'll try the left side with Gibson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Antonio Gibson, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on 4th down, and now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the 4th quarter, because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the first down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
Eagles 10.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Well, Charles, you remember their last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, but you understand why they did in this close game late. Now, though, the road back is even tougher.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and it was fair to look back and say the 4th down was the moment where this one was decided. But as you mentioned, understandable about why they went for it. But hey, a lot of credit to the guys on the defensive side of the ball. They knew they'd have to defend in that situation, and they got it done.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
18, pioneer.
Throwing is Hurts.
He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Tried to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Back to throw again. His throw incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Oh, no, he lost the football.
And it's Washington that scoops it up.
And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing to, having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
Winds up and lets it go for Samuel.
And this one is incomplete.
But it's not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete, but you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the 2nd half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts.
That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Wentz to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by James Bradbury.
And the Eagles are going to get it back here just past the 35.
But to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can hit it.
He's got a man complete. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining.
That's good for an Eagles. First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Let's go now.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Hurts. And this is caught, so it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough, but they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
Elliott good with a PAT. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So with 13 on the clock, it's time for an onside kick.
Now the Commanders going to burn the second of their timeouts.
That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So with 13 on the clock, it's time for an onside kick.
And this will be recovered by Washington, and that should just about do it.
They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Wentz to throw.
He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone.
And is it a touchdown? No signal. No, they say incomplete.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
Steps away. And now here is another interception.
And the Eagles come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. But like all great games, it came down to the final snap, Charles. They had to heave it and hope, but the Hail Mary ultimately intercepted, and that's your ball game.
Yeah, and you never want to be in a situation where your entire game comes down to throwing a jump ball as far as you can. But in that situation, you want to loft it up and hope one of your guys can win in the air. This time, though, it was the defender who got up there, and that was the end of the ball game. Close one throughout. One team just had a little bit more at the end than the other.
So for the Commanders,
it's a second win on the year now as they move to 2-8. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts.